Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm here with my 2011 Audi A3 8P model 1.8 TFSI engine, and we're going to be doing a oil and filter change the easy way. So if we just look to the owner's manual of this vehicle, if we flick to the oil engine section, we can see that for the petrol engine, which this is it, Audi specifies a VW 50200 as the standard oil for the inspection service, or for the long life, a 50400. So whilst this vehicle doesn't actually travel very many kilometers or miles at all, I don't believe in the long life service interval. I change the oil in this vehicle every year, so I'm choosing to go with a 50200 specification of the oil, and I've got the Castrol Edge 5W30 A3 B4. If I just flip the container over, you can see right here that it is a 50200 specification. If you actually want to go for that long life interval, it will be the exact same bottle, Castrol Edge 5W30, but it will be LL, and then it will have the 504. And I've also picked up a brand new filter. In this case, it's a RYCO Z793 filter, and we're going to throw that on as well. Now, as I said in the beginning, this really is the easy way. To do the oil change this time, we're just going to leave the car completely on the ground, and we will be using an extraction device to suck the oil out of the top. Now, we've also got a funnel, and the only other tool we've got is a oil cap remover. Now, honestly, if you are going to do your own DIY oil changes, these tools that we're looking at here really aren't overly expensive. So I'll put up a link to where you can buy these tools, literally $50 or $60. You've got all of these tools for life, and you can do these oil changes and filter changes yourself really easily. All right, so the first thing you actually want to do before you start is you want to actually check the level of the engine oil, just to check that there's nothing strange going on in the engine. So just wipe that off. As I said, I have taken this for a drive to warm it up, so just have to wipe it off and put that back in. And we can see here that that engine oil level is just fine. So because we're going to extract from the top, I'll just wipe that off and place the dipstick up here out of the way. And then to extract the oil out, what we want to do is we want to choose the size of tube, which we think is the largest that will actually fit down the dipstick tube. And I think this one is just perfect here. So let's have a look. All right, bring it over to the dipstick tube. And we can see, we can kind of just feed this one down. So that is perfect. And you can feel it just hits the bottom there. So with that first tube in, we just grab the next largest one, connect these two tubes up like this, and then we insert this in the vacuum extraction port over here. The next thing we want to do is actually just remove the oil filler cap, so that will allow the air to run into the engine so we can extract the oil. And with that set up, we simply start pumping. So the next thing to do is to get the oil filter off. So I just need to take the plastic cover off. So just unclick that and put that to one side. We then just need to unclick this tube along the top here. And then we've got good access to our oil filter there. Now at this stage, it's always a good thing to double check that you've actually got the correct filter for the vehicle. So I'll just double check the number. So I've got a Z793 on there and got one to put on. So let's get that one off. As I said, this cap is a blessing. And anti-clockwise to get it off. You can feel this one's actually on quite tight. I'd say that was actually a little bit over tight, whoever put that on. And that is far easier than mucking around with a strap in there. All right, so you can see now the tube has gone clear on the extraction. Got the oil filter off, so it's clearly drained all of the oil out of the engine. If we just have a look, it's pretty hard to see. We've got markings we can see we've got a 2, 4, 6, and the line is just about here. So this engine actually holds 4.5 litres. So you can see, you know, pretty much it is just over 4.5 litres that we've extracted. So before we do anything else, we'll just spin the new filter on. I will just grab a little bit of that oil on my finger, and we just pop that onto the seal there, just to make sure that we get an absolute nice seal as we screw that filter on. Now, you will notice that I haven't primed this filter or anything. Absolutely not necessary to prime filters. In actual fact, in my experience, I actually believe that priming a filter could do more damage than good anyway. And the reason that is because you could actually put contaminated oil straight into the pickup of the engine, whereas the filter actually sucks the oil through the filter paper before it actually goes into the engine. And then we just tighten it using our tool. We really don't need to do this overly tight. That's plenty. Perhaps I should have put a click in there for the torque wrench. So then we just pop these tubes back down. We can get the oil extraction pipe out of the dipstick. And it's time to refill the engine oil. All right, so let's fill it up. I did say I'd use a funnel in the beginning, but this is an easy pour bottle. Let's see how we go. Perfect. So with a positive pour, we can get those contents in. So as I said, this engine is 4.5 litres in capacity. You can see that in the owner's manual, and you can see that I actually extracted 4.5 litres. So coincidentally, I actually had 4.5 litres in this bottle because I'd used half a litre just to top up previously. So there we go. We've got our 4.5 litres of brand new oil in this vehicle. So what we want to do now is just check the level to double check ourselves. And we can see there, the oil has come just up to the max amount. So I'll just pop that dipstick back in the tube. Put the cap on. And we'll put the engine cover back on. So you can see we've just got those locating pins at the back there. Put them down first and then just click it down at the front. So we're good to go to start the engine, prime the filter, we'll let it run, and then we'll switch it off and recheck the level. All right, let's just check that level now. And we can see on that dipstick that it is just somewhere between the low and the max. So probably put another half litre of oil in the engine and we'll be good to go. And we'll just check that level. Again, now we've just topped it up with a little bit extra oil. And we can see that's perfect now. It's right up on the max mark, right there. So there you go, folks. That's absolutely got to be the easiest oil and filter change that you can possibly do. As you can see, I'm wearing a good pair of jeans and a pretty good t-shirt, and there's absolutely no mess. For the naysayers out there that probably say you haven't extracted all of the oil, well, as you saw, I actually put back 5 litres of oil. The manufacturer specification on this vehicle is 4.5 litres. So we've got pretty much all of the oil. Maybe there's a 50 or 100 mils that we didn't get if you use the drain plug, but really in the whole scheme of things, if you're doing regular servicing on the vehicles, that is nothing. So the final thing to do is to reset the oil interval on your dash cluster. So to do that, you insert your key into the ignition, turn it to the number 1 position. You don't actually start the engine, and then you pull the right peg. You can see it says oil change in 8,000 kilometers or 17 days. As I said, we don't do a lot of kilometers in this car. And then you pull it again and hold for 4 or 5 seconds. And you can see it's reset. So oil change in 0 kilometers, 0 days. Now, depending on the exact year of manufacture of your vehicle, you may find that it's actually got a separate oil and service counter system in the vehicle. If that's the case, you may find that whilst you've cleared the oil counter, you may find that it still comes up with a service indicator on the dash. If that's the case and you have that trouble, I'll link another video in the description how you can actually solve that problem. But until then, I do hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have liked it, do feel free to like, share and subscribe. Until next time, have a good evening.